We've made strides towards ensuring that every veteran has access to the highest quality care. We're slashing the backlog that had too many veterans waiting years to get the benefits they need.
Wow, the president says we're well on our way to fixing the VA and getting us quick care, right? But behind the scenes, there's already a plan to gut the law he signed with great fanfare. Major Pete Hegseth joins us right now. Major, first off, explain what Senator McCain and others have proposed and your organization had endorsed when this scandal first broke.
Absolutely. When the scandal broke, in order to address it, one of the things we worked for was more choice for veterans. Give them an option to go outside the VA if they live too far away or are waiting too long. It manifests itself in a choice card that was signed into law by the president in August. Now here we are in February, and the president's budget is proposing to gut the very choice law that was passed. You know why? It's typical Washington bureaucracy. The VA doesn't want it because it wants to keep folks inside the system, right, and the president doesn't want it because it would undermine his single-payer, top-down health care system.
So this is in his budget, and by the way, you say that it's not being used. The reason it's not being used, too, you think the VA is stifling it, and none of people know about it.
A VA official came out yesterday and said, well, we want to defund the program or shift funds because veterans just aren't using it. Go out there and talk to veterans, which we do every single day. They got their choice card in the mail. Then they have to call a 1-800 number, wait on hold, and be told by a bureaucrat somewhere whether or not they qualify because of geographic considerations or wait time. They may be waiting too long or live too far, but it doesn't matter. What the VA tells them is what they get. So veterans are being blocked by the bureaucracy from accessing care, and then the bureaucracy says they don't want it. And Brian, I don't know if you've got the numbers there, but we've got a bulletproof nationwide representative poll that we released yesterday showing that 90% of veterans, 90, want choice outside the VA if given the option.
So they got to speak up through your organization and others and let them know, because so many lawmakers say we want to do what the veterans want us to do, so they got to go and use some of their pressure that they've earned, and there's a lot of people that need some help and they need to speak up like you're doing. Now, meanwhile, the OMB director says we're not cutting any program. Listen.
There is not a proposal to cut it. I think that's a mischaracterization. As we were putting together the projections for the budget, you can imagine that it's quite uncertain how many veterans will ultimately exercise that choice and use that program. And so what we've done in the budget is propose flexibility that would allow the VA to draw from some of the $10 billion that was set aside for that program, if needed, if it is not fully utilized.
Have you ever heard such a filibuster? What's your take on that ridiculous definition?
The old flexibility. We need flexibility. Ultimately, what they're trying to say there is we're going to make sure veterans don't get access to it, and when they don't, we'll strangle, we'll kill this reform in the crib, and then just take that money and raid it and put it into VA bureaucracy like we've always done, and then claim, well, veterans didn't want it, veterans didn't use it, so that veterans don't have choice. Brian, what it comes down to is the bureaucracy doesn't want veterans to have a choice because they want to preserve the system as it exists. The White House wants that as well. Veterans want choice, Brian, no question. We did the polling, 90%. Every politician better listen to that, because 90% is a big number. Veterans across America want it. And it's about time they get it.
And they got to speak up and put pressure on their lawmakers, because no one wants to cross the veterans at this point. Major Pete Hegseth, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Brian.